To the Dan Cave, and we're going to be talking about Tron. So we just got some announcement post over here in the Discord, the official Discord, talking about the event. So we're going to be reading that, kind of going through that, and then looking at Tron, walking through his different talents and different things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Just seeing what this character is going to look like. Maybe we can predict or think about how he's going to fit into the ranged class characters. And maybe next month he'll make it to the tier list, and we'll see where he ranks on that. But I'm super excited because this is kind of a first. It's at least a first for me. We got one character coming in, not just the two. So normally we get two. We get a whole event around it. And this time they just dropped a one. They dropped Tron, and it is Tron's technical tests. So Tron event begins May 26th. So it's going to begin on Thursday, and we're actually going to be playing this event next Monday live on stream. So I'm going to hold off to actually do it until everybody can hang out with me on stream. So next Monday we'll be doing the event with Tron, seeing how far we can get. But essentially, we're going to deploy your favorite high-tech guardians and take on a new challenge in this Tron-themed event quest. High-tech guardians gain special buffs like shock and lock, causing all basic attacks to shock enemies. Make your enemies short circuit and take down fractured Tron. So I think that's going to be really, really cool. And he's going to look as a fractured character and the normal character. So I don't know. I like it because of the fact that you're looking at another tech. We've got a couple good techs out there, right? If we're going to use him as our main character, we can stick Hero or Baymax with him. You've also got Judy hanging out as well. You've got Donald as a tank. So a lot of good characters you can put in there. And yes, that's what I want to see to come to the game, Yuri. I want to see Shock, Lock, and Barrel come in maybe around Halloween with some of the other characters. But we got enhancements calendar. So give Tron the upgrades he needs to delete his enemies from the battlefield. Each day you'll be able to collect a reward upon logging into the game, including rank up gems, talent books, and XP motes. There will be no grace days, so make sure you log in every day. So essentially a calendar, but the calendar is for that day. If you miss a day, you miss a day. So that is something that's been that I've kind of noticed with MIRRORverse is a lot of the calendars are on specific days. They run for so many days, so you got to make sure you're logging in every day, even if it's just to collect those rewards. So Tron objectives during the Tron mini event. Participating in the event quest and upgrading Tron will get some awesome rewards. Don't miss out on your chance of getting Tron famed crystals, epic books of wisdom pages, and 4-star guardian shards. So I like that 4-star guardian shards, and take advantage while you can. So this one's cool. This is cool. You'll be able to essentially get in there, upgrade them, all of that. So rather than it being a store like we have with Woody and Anna right now, and getting those milestones and getting the currency, it's just gonna be a milestones, right? You get to the milestones, you're gonna get rewards. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Lethals, we got Cora in other games. I'm surprised we didn't get a duo in here and just the single, but maybe she's on their list of future additions. So with that being said, Tron is coming in, looks pretty good. And the event I think will be a lot of fun using our high tech. The good thing about that is if you're going to invest for this event, those characters are also going to help you out on the high tech tower. So not really wasted resources if you're upgrading the same characters you're going to be using for that tower. So let's pop into the game, and we're going to go over to our Guardian. So like I said, Tron is not available to farm yet, but he is in the game to take a peek at. So let's open up Tron. Let's take a peek at him. I like how Tron looks. Let's also close that back screen. I like how Tron looks. Again, I don't feel like there's much they could have done with him when it came to the MIRRORverse. I guess the only thing maybe would be some damage on him or something like that. Maybe some battle damage to give him a little bit of a rougher look. But kind of just looks like Tron to me. But yeah, I'm I'm excited to see him just based on the way his kit looks as we jump into that. So if we look at his abilities, we've got our 3 abilities here. So identity disc, let's open that one up. Take a look over here on my bigger screen so I can actually read it. All right, so Tron's heavy attack deals 150% damage and ricochets to hit multiple enemies, max ricochet of 2. So essentially we're going to be able to hit 3 targets, right? So 3 targets, which would be pretty good. So kind of looking like a Goofy in a way. I know a lot of people maybe aren't using Goofy, but he has that ricochet mechanic as well. So I'm liking that part, being able to hit multiple enemies. On basic attack, Tron has 50% chance to gain 20% focus for 8 seconds, max of 2 stacks. Now, I will say, not necessarily on this skill, but when we get to talents and we get to his final ability, just keep in mind, everything you look at on a character is maxed out when they're not unlocked. So you're looking at an Astral 10 character with everything maxed. So some of these percentages, not on this ability, but his last ability and his talents are going to be kind of fully maxed, so keep that in mind. But focus, if you guys don't know, focus is going to give you better crit chance. So again, we're doing this on his basic, 50% chance to gain that focus buff. Heavy attack, critical hits apply a defense debuff for 10 seconds. So going to be wanting to look at those characters like an Ariel or something when you're thinking of a main team that care about those debuffs. So all in all, I mean, pretty big damage, 150% damage and ricochets. Seems pretty good on a basic. His special here is Bit Swarm. So special ability Bit Swarm, cooldown 15 seconds. I haven't done a lot of deep dives yet on cooldown times between characters, but 15 seconds seems pretty decent of being able to use it quite often. Tron releases a swarm of bits, dealing 300% damage to all enemies. So I like that one. 300% all enemies. This is gonna be really good on those battles where you have like a lot of the Titanborns and everything kind of floating around. Each enemy takes an additional 50% damage for each debuff on them. So if you think about like in the main areas, not necessarily high tech, pair him up with Jack Skellington. He's gonna put a bunch of debuffs out there to stack up that damage. So I really like that as well. And all allies are gonna be cleansed from an attribute. So all in all, pretty good. A lot of damage there. 300% damage to all enemies. We'll have to see what his damage actually looks like, because again, you can say 300% and he does 5 damage instead of 10. I'm using easy math, but that makes a huge difference. But that definitely sounds like it could be doing some a crazy amount of damage. When it says all characters, that always interests me. But keep in mind that means 1v1, some of his skills are not going to be as good just because he really wants to go against big mobs of characters rather than just the 1v1. All right, so this is a signature ability. You need 4 stars to get signature ability, but a hit from Tron's heavy attack is not critical. So if it's not critical, all ricochet hits from that heavy attack have 50% chance for critical. So essentially, you should crit with one of his hits. So if you do the first hit, it crits. The other 2, I guess they have the normal percent based on your original throw. But if you miss on the first one, the next one has a 50%. If you miss there, the next one has a 50% because you do have the 2 different ricochets. So in theory, one of those 3 hits should actually crit, which will be pretty good. You also have that focus buff to increase crits over there. So you should be hitting crits pretty often. And I know that that's one of the big things with the way the range characters used to work and how they work now, and the nerf that they got over the little bit of time was because of the crit going down, the crit damage going down, the crit chance going down, making them not as good. But hopefully some of this will kind of bring them back. And I do think that Tron's going to look like a really good ranged character, whereas right now we kind of just have Gaston and Judy that feel okay for an investment but never really great. But Judy and Tron may actually be pretty good since she is tech as well. So when Tron is only Guardian in combat, he gains 10% attack buff, and his heavy attack has a 50% chance to inflict knockback on enemy targets. So that could be really interesting because if he's the only one, so it kind of goes to the mark of, are we talking about the 1v1? Are we talking about the fact that the rest of your team has died and you're still going? Maybe you're in a main event battle and you're only taking in Tron. So that one kind of intrigues me a little bit. So it's interesting to see how that's going to work, and if that's maybe alluding to maybe a new mode that we may be getting. So if you think of something where you know, right now we have 1v1, but maybe we have a new mode coming that's like one guardian against tons of mobs, right? And then now Tron is one of the best characters for it, or Ariel with her, you know, half circle slash or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually alludes to anything, because there's not often that you're only going to have one guardian on the field outside of 1v1, yet all of this stuff says, you know, attack multiple enemies or all enemies. So so it's very interesting to see that kind of included in his kit. So again, keep in mind the stats we're looking at, the 10%, the 50%, we'll have to see what that actually looks like at a not maxed out level, and what his level ups are actually kind of pertaining to when it comes to his levels. All right, so now going over to talents. Talents are where it's all out, guys. So level 30, get all those talents unlocked. Make sure you can equip 3 of them, and you're gonna have a good guardian. So software upgrade, 20% attack at the start of the counter. Again, keep in mind this is gonna be one of those that you're looking at a maxed out character, so that's probably 2%, 5%, whatever the basic one is, whenever you start with a character. Next one, increase focus. Most of the ranged characters, that's what you have in that second slot anyway, and realistically these two you don't use often. You may start with them, but once you hit level 30, those two usually just drop off, and you're focusing on these upper skills right here, these upper 4 skills. So advanced threat detection. Each time an enemy appears, they're inflicted with a 20% defense debuff for the encounter. So that one looks pretty good if you're with the right team, right? Think about it. Ariel wants debuffs. You've got Maui and a few other characters. You've got Jack Sparrow that's also going to be doing debuffs. You already saw where he did debuffs earlier, took advantage of debuffs earlier. So all in all, I mean, he's already, if you're using that talent, you're already kind of buffing yourself because you got the damage for the debuffs on characters. Threat containment, increase the duration of shocks and the attribute debuffs by 4 seconds for Tron and all his allies. So this is one of those things that could be pretty crazy with the right characters. If you think of like Rooted and things like that, and being able to increase that by 4 seconds. Now again, this is fully maxed out, but if it wasn't, it's probably, you know, half a second or something like that, and eventually it'll get up to 4 seconds. But yeah, rooting somebody for 4 seconds is gonna be pretty crazy. Stunning somebody for 4 seconds or an additional 4 seconds is gonna be pretty crazy. So that one looks good with the right team. I think it's gonna be situational, so it may or may not be the one that you use, but situational with the right characters around them, that could be pretty crazy. Security firewall. Tron's special ability has a 100% chance to stun for 1.5 seconds, grants a defense buff on all high-tech allies at the start of the encounter. So this is one I think that's going to make a big difference for this particular event and the high-tech towers. Yes, Spartan. So it is pretty crazy. And the fact that you look at the fact that we may have somebody like Hero, somebody like Baymax giving that defense bonus and stunning, right? So his special ability hits everybody, so it's an AoE, hits everybody, 300% damage. So now you're saying if you have this maxed, right, 100% chance to stun everybody on the field for 1.5 seconds. So that could be really, really good maxed out. And then his elite talent, increase the duration and strength of the focus buff from Tron's core ability by 50% after a dash. Increase the max ricochet limit of Tron's heavy attack by 1 for 5 seconds. So again, all you gotta do is when you dash around, you're gonna get more ricochets, more damage. This is one of those that, again, We talked about situational with the threat containment. I think this one's kind of the one that you switch between. So you know, it's gonna kind of come down to which one you want more, whether it's this identity disc, or if you want the threat containment based on your team build. But either one of those, again, all of these 4 skills will be the 3 interchangeable, the 3 that you're using. Yes, we can jump over there, Spartan. We can look at the high techs that would go with this team. But all in all, Tron looks good. I think he has potential. We'll have to see what his damage looks like and things like that, but I think he has potential to really give Gaston and Judy a run for their money in the S tier when it comes around. Now again, we're seeing some high percentages of damage. We don't know if that's actually going to be crazy damage or anything like that. The other thing here is when it comes to the tier list, there's other factors than just damage. And if we look at his bio real quick, he only has the high tech tag, so he's not good for multiple things. You've got Gaston, which is always a dungeon, or not always, but in those other dungeons is that 2x bonus. You've got him in a couple other events as well, so you've got some of that, but he definitely could show up. All right, so let's jump over to the characters, to the high tech. So if we're thinking about this event, right, and we're thinking about everything in this event, who we may pair with them, who we may use. Let me grab high tech. It's over here. We've got a couple good characters, right? Definitely, if you've got Hero is going to be one of these that's going to make this guy look ridiculous. So if you don't have Hero, you have your amplification bridge, and when he uses his special ability, other allies gain, pretty much on mine, 23% attack buff for each ally he's connected to. So that is going to be one of those things where they're getting 40% more damage, which is going to be pretty crazy. So Hero by 100% is going to be one of the characters, if you have them, that you want to use with Tron. I think another one, again, yes, Buzz is pretty good, but I think if you're going to go with a ranged, you're going to go with a support, you need somebody that's going to soak up that damage, that's going to stand up front, take that damage, and allow you to kind of do your thing. And that's where I think Baymax is going to be your third when it comes to this event. I think Baymax is going to be your third when it comes to your tower, because he's all about defense. Tron also gives defense, and I think that that's what you're really going to want. Now, as far as the tank, you could also go with someone like Donald. Donald can be really good. He's also the oceanic. It's not really oceanic, it's seafaring. So Donald can also help you on the seafaring tower if you're looking at kind of taking advantage of who you're investing in. Again, Baymax is just high tech. You've also got Scrooge McDuck, who can be pretty good. Scrooge is going to help you in the fact that he can give focus for more damage. Just keep in mind, if you're using Scrooge, he's got a little bit of a heal as well, but you got him, you've got Hero, you really don't have anybody taking that damage, so you have to see how much damage you can actually do without getting kind of like caught up in that. You know, you've got some other fallbacks here. You've got Sully as another tank if you've invested in Sully, but again, I think if you're looking for that best in class team, you're probably looking at Hero, Baymax, and Tron. That's where I'm at least going to start. I've got to get my Baymax up, but I do need one more tank to take up to 40, and I think Baymax will be that tank that I work with. So that's what I'll be using. I think that all three of these tanks are good choices. If you don't have Hero, I think that's where somebody like Scrooge will work. So if you didn't get Hero yet, if you've got Scrooge really will play that great support role. But if you're using kind of a ranged character, you kind of want a support and you want a tank. You want, if you don't have a tank, you want a melee character. So maybe somebody like Stitch. I just don't think Stitch is going to give you really what you need there. They're hard to watch when you have a melee up front and you're back on the ranged class. It's hard to watch to make sure they're not, you know, over their head and things like that. So that's why I like a tank. You don't have to worry about them too much because they got a lot of health and a lot of defense. So yeah, that's where I would sit with this. If you don't have Hero, Scrooge McDuck is gonna be pretty good in that role. if you don't have Baymax, either Sully or Donald, but I think that that's going to kind of be where you want to be. Ranged, support, tank as your 3 characters for this event, and we'll definitely check it out on stream on Monday, really breaking down Tron himself. Should be able to unlock him. Worst case, they should have some kind of pack or something in the store, and then from there we'll mess around with them. We'll see how the event actually lines up, how Tron feels as a character, and hopefully we'll cross our fingers that we can actually get a 4-star or 5 stars so we can unlock that signature ability and kind of go from there. But with that said, guys, appreciate you guys watching this segment as we look into the Mirrorverse at these characters and get some first impressions, first looks on these characters. And I'm excited about Tron dropping in, excited about what else we're gonna get before global launch. Global launch is June 23rd, just around the corner. So if you like this content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button right down below. We are working towards our first 1,000 subs. Once we hit 1,000 subs, we got a free giveaway that we're going to be doing with a Mirrorverse figure. We've got the Jack Sparrow we're giving away to 2 lucky subscribers. So make sure you hit that sub button if you haven't done it already, and leave a comment below. What do you guys want to see? What are you guys excited about with Mirrorverse, and are you getting ready for that global launch? So until next time, guys.
June 23rd next month.
Y'all take it easy. Yes, June 23rd of next month. I may have just said 23rd, but yeah, so you guys take it easy. And if you like this content and you want to hang out with us live like all these lovely people are doing, make sure to check out the Twitch. Link is in the description. But appreciate you guys.